I said, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic. Got a new video for you today. Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news live edition. Before we get into it, y'all know the spiel. Comment, like, subscribe, and share this electrifying content with the people. I know we got a lot to talk about. I do want to start off on the positives before we go in. I know there's a lot being said in the comment section. Shout out to y'all. But what we're here to talk about is what just happened at Fiserv Forum between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard's first time playing his former team, and a lot happened in this game. And I know the biggest thing and topic we need to talk about. I'm gonna get into the numbers here in a split second. I know we need to talk about turnovers. I know we need to talk about defense. I know a lot of people want to talk about Bobby Portis. I know there's a lot that we want to talk about in the comment section. I'm gonna get to it. I've been paying attention, y'all. But the first thing that we need to understand that's on the positive side before I get into these numbers is we won and we were down 26 points and we came back and won. Regardless of the competition, regardless of what's going on, it is not easy to come back from a 26-point deficit. The Bucks were able to come back from a 26-point deficit. Let's give them kudos for that. Let's give them credit for that. They came back from 26 points down. They shut them down for the most part in the second half. So let's give them credit for that. Yes, this is a team they should be blowing out. Things happen. I'm just happy that we were able to get the win. And we're gonna get into everything else. But without further ado, y'all, let's get into the stats here, y'all. So give me 1 second here. Can't believe they turned the ball over like they did. I mean, that was absolutely ridiculous how they were turning the ball over. I've never seen anything like that before. So Bucks win 102. They win 108, 102. First quarter wasn't bad. They almost put up 40. I mean, we were just turning the ball over at an alarming rate the first half. Like that was crazy. And they put up almost 40 on us in the second quarter. And then we played good in the third quarter, just kind of make the game reasonable. So we outscored them by 3, which the third quarter has kind of been our problem. And to this team's credit, hey, we're a fourth quarter team. Let me tell you that. The Bucks are a fourth quarter team. We got to give them credit for that. The Bucks find a way to get things done in the fourth quarter. If it's Giannis making plays, Dame hitting clutch after hitting multiple clutch free throws, we do what it takes to win. We didn't play good today. Our defense is atrocious. We can't defend the 3, but we figure out how to win. And there's something to be said for that, y'all. So Jeremy Grant is their currently their best player. Him and Anthony Simons, who didn't play today. He had 22. Aiton had 14 and 13, solid performance. Malcolm Brogdon, a former Buck, had 18 points, 12 assists, solid. Sharp, I don't even know how he got 17. He got 17. And then Scoot Henderson, who's been terrible all year, was 3 of 4 from 3. Uh, we're just letting people get off too easy, like, and get to their spots too easy. They were 13 to 32 from 3. They cooled off from the first half, and they cooled off shooting, which is what allowed us to get back in the game. Giannis with another huge performance. Giannis 11 to 21, 11 of 18 from the free throw line, 16 big boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 4 turnovers, 5 fouls, and the biggest block was in that fourth quarter on the replay on the challenge call by Adrian Griffin. Shout out to him for doing that. That kind of saved us to save the game late. Shout out to Giannis for that. Plus 9, 33 points. Brook Lopez with a quiet performance tonight. He only took 11 shots, but he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, which is good for him. 3 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. Plus 3, solid performance by Brook. But I do think that we did miss opportunities to start using Brook in the post, especially with all the turnovers. We were settling way too much for threes. I think we should have learned from what happened with the 39-point game that you should be able to depend on Lopez, and he's shown that he can be depended on in the post. I think we should have been going to Brook in the post as well, but that's a whole nother conversation. Dame didn't shoot well in the first quarter. He was terrible, but he ended up pulling it together. 7 of 21, 4 of 12, 13 of 14. Huge. He made some big free throws in the fourth quarter and some plays. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He did have 3 turnovers. Malik Beasley, He hit some key threes. He was 5 of 14, 4 of 11, 14 points, plus 16. Andre Jackson played 12 minutes, no points, minus 11. Bobby Portis had 12 and 6 or 12 and 8, 2 steals, 3 blocks, which were impressive. And he did have 2 turnovers and 12 points plus 3. Bobby turned up in the third quarter and really helped us get on that run to get the team back in the game. Pat Connaughton, 20 minutes, 2 of 4. He did have 4 rebounds. He had an assist and a steal, 2 turnovers. He had 5 points. AJ Green had no points, and Beauchamp 9 minutes, no points, no shot attempts. I have a problem with that, actually, him doing that. And we shot terrible, and that's another reason we should be happy we won. We shot less than 40% from the field, 33% from the 3-point line, and 75% from the free throw line. Like we just played bad. But we got to give credit where credit. We were able to win, y'all. I know y'all pissed about a lot, but at least we were able to win. And we won the rebounding battle. And we have more offensive rebounds, guys. Look, 52. We had 18 offensive rebounds, 34 defensive. They did have more assists, more steals. I saw the super chat. I'm going to get at you in 1 second. Shout out. Appreciate the super chat. They ended up with 20 turnovers, which theirs kind of came in the second half. Ours came in the first half. It kind of balanced out, but we still had 17. They had 23 points off a turnover. We had 27. Fast break points, they had 21 to our 11, which I think we should be better at that. And we are 40 to 38 points in the paint. This is a problem when we have Brook in the game he just came off of. I think that's poor coaching not to emphasize going into the paint and in the post and just settling for jumpers. I do feel like that was an issue in today's game, in my opinion. I do feel that was an issue. Appreciate that 199 super chat. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Appreciate you. Dwizdorf with the 199 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Pat 20 minutes. Marjan Thanasis and AJ were better. Yeah, I don't know what it is with all the minutes for Pat, y'all. We got to talk about that because that's wild. I'm not sure what that's about. Shout out to you, Dwizdorf. Always a pleasure chopping it with you, bro. What up, James? Let me put the link in the chat, too, so y'all can join the live. Hold on a second. Let me put the link in the chat. All right, putting the link in the chat now to join the live. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. Much appreciated. Helps the channel grow and helps other Bucks fans find this outstanding content. Now, let's get into the comment section without further ado. Let's see what y'all talking about. I see you, King Keys, Humilidon. I see you, Gibson, Bravon. Mr. Cole, what's good? Mr. Cole said we're going to wear Giannis and Dame out playing all these minutes against bad teams. I will say this didn't happen under Bud. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I get it. I know. But this is a different time and a different type of team, different circumstances. But we're still winning games. Got my boy Daniel Orton in the house. Let me go ahead and get him tapped in. I know he got to get some stuff off his chest. Let's go. What up, Daniel? I know this wasn't pretty, but we did win. You know what I'm saying? We did win. So we got to see what's up.
That game was, I watched that whole game. It was like watching football and then watching that game.
Right.
And that first half was, hold on, give me a minute.
I know how that go. Hey, I know how that go. Hold on one second. Hey, Carrie, I saw you in the green room. Just tap back in. Just give me a couple minutes to talk to Daniel, but tap back in. I saw you in the green room. Shout out to you. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, that first half was just atrocious. They just kept giving up, turnovers. They was playing sloppy basketball in that first half. They was just giving up.
I mean, it was turnover after turnover. That was probably the worst. That might have been their worst first half of basketball this year. That might have been their worst. Yeah, that might
And
have been their
but we
worst.
got to I know everybody got mad at what the Bucks played, but you got to give Bucks this. They gave up only 34 points in the second
Second
half.
half, thank you. They locked
Shut
down. They locked down. So that's what I'm saying.
up
We
them.
shut them down second half.
Shout out to Dame for taking a charge too. I'm like, oh, you playing today? Like, okay, let's
I'm
go.
telling you, Dame ain't as bad on defense as people think. Hey, Mike, I see you in the green room. I'll get you here in a minute. My boy, let's talk about it with Mike. Oh, all right, I'll get you in here in a minute. But go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, but it's gonna be games like this, and I know people will be like, well, they're not gonna, they're not gonna get their defense not gonna be the same like it was last year. It's not gonna be that same. It's never gonna be. But the thing is, we're gonna be over 100 points a game, 115, 100. We gonna the top. We gonna get 130 points a game. So that's like I said, we gonna ain't gonna beat you. We're gonna shoot you out the gym.
Right, right. But hey, we
Like,
got to get his team credit for showing resiliency, though. Most teams
yeah,
would have quit down by 26. I
yeah.
mean, we turned this game completely around. I mean, that second half, we bit down, and this team now looks like a fourth quarter team. We got to get him credit there. The Bucks the Bucks locked down in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I mean, people probably got mad because they saw tenacity in the game. Like, oh, I'm like, we gotta get something. We gotta get something in the.
Right, and
But
Thanasis is gonna bring some energy.
yeah, we needed that. I mean, I don't know what we have. Like, I don't know what people want the Bucks to do. Really, like, we we have to. These the guys we got. If we trade anybody, then we have to give up one of the core players. And do you really want to do that right now?
Hey, Mike, I'm tapping you in. I
Hey,
think
what's
you're gonna
up?
talk
Yo,
about.
yo, what up? What
What
up?
up?
What
What
up?
up? What
What's
up? What up?
good, brother?
What's good? Yeah, I got my boy. Let's talk about Michael. I got Daniel on here, so I just wanted to let's talk about what happened. Uh,
Man, hey, like I think you were just saying, I think I was just hearing you say, like, sometimes they're gonna have these types of games. If I'm not mistaken, the Nuggets just took a bad L from a team they should have beat. I think it's gonna happen, and it's hard for us to get motivated for when we playing weaker teams. It's just what it is.
but we should
It's like
never be down 26 though. That's
No,
inexcusable.
no. And I think that goes to coaching. And he's young, and I mean, he's green, and we got to give him a chance. But he got to learn to keep them motivated.
exactly. I just think it's more one.
Hey, somebody got. I'm getting feedback. I don't. Hold on a second.
Probably on your end
Yeah,
because I don't hear anything. I'm
yeah,
Yeah, I
no.
don't hear anything either.
Hey, Mike, let me drop you for a second and bring you back
All right.
in. Let me just see.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. All right, yeah, that was you, Mike. Oh, I think you got something with the settings on your MacBook. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. So, what do you think moving forward would need to happen with the squad? What are you thinking? Because I also want to talk about this drop coverage. I don't want to see that drop coverage. It's not executed at
working.
all. That
It's
drop coverage is too much.
they're doing too much. Like when you're a coach and you gotta listen. Sometimes you gotta listen to your players,
Right,
and sometimes like okay, this is best for the team. And every time they try to play that drop coverage, and Brooks not even trying to jump, like you gotta
right.
float.
They're letting that floater happen way too much.
You gotta make them pass the ball more. I mean, they did the second half. I'm like, this is the defense we
To
want you to
see,
do.
but why does it take us being down by that many points before people start getting it together? That's a problem.
And it's a huge problem. They need to get going early and get these teams out of here. Like get these teams out of here. Stop playing games. Get these teams out of here. But and I understand people getting upset with
Hold on one second. Let's want to get the super chat. Dwizdorf, appreciate the 199 super chat. He said chemistry is still a problem. Dame got that PJ defense. Come on, bro. He said he got the PJ. No, chemistry is definitely a problem. But you see glimpses of how they should play. You see glimpses. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby P. He did a good job in the second half. I mean, he still can't really block anybody, but look, we gonna have games like this. It's gonna be teams that like every team want to get one shot. Like we've been hyped up so much by the media, or somewhat. Everybody wants to get us the best shot. I'm like, we're not even champions. Everybody wants to
Right.
give us that shot. I'm like, what's going on here?
Right.
Yeah. But like when we lose games, when Bucks lose games like that, people be like, "Oh yeah, they ain't that good." But like,
that's what I'm saying. There's teams that have slipped up. Like Michael was saying, Michael, I'm gonna tap you in a minute. Is other teams are losing against bad teams. Like Denver lost. They had a bad loss. Miami just let the Knicks come back on them from 20 some down. So at least we were able to come back, show resilience, and not quit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's something to be said for that.
it is. I just think like I said, it's gonna take time. I know people don't want to hear that, but we're like the second seed right now. I mean, it don't mean anything, but think about
Right.
last year. We won games, but you always said what we always say. Excuse me. It doesn't matter until the playoffs begin.
Yeah, none of that matter. Yeah, none of that other stuff matter.
It
Yeah.
matters. And like right
Yeah.
now, that we gotta figure it out. And as soon as we get to the
We
playoffs,
just need to win games until we figure it out. That's all we need to do. Dan, what's your final statement, bro?
it's not gonna be pretty. It's not
Right.
gonna look. It's not gonna look like you were dominant. And obviously, I mean, quite frankly, they don't need to look dominant right now. They need to learn to win more, win
Right.
to ways because everybody kept bringing Drew up, and I'm like, we gonna have Drew. Josh be out here by now because
Right.
he said he changed. He act like he don't know, but he did know that they had to get rid of Drew. So I don't care what nobody say. The Bucks had to get rid of Drew. We
Right.
needed a second guy that can score with Giannis, and that's Dame. Dame, he ain't even going full gear Dame yet, and that's the scary part. And we
Right.
should be.
He's still figuring out to get 30. But let me go ahead and type in Mike. Oh, Dan, appreciate you tapping in. I forget about you just holiday weekend, and I'm gonna get with you this weekend, this week.
All right, bro.
All right, Daniel. All right, salute. Hey, Packers won. Hey, Bucks won. Let's be happy, bro. Let me tap you in, Mike. Let's see if you still got the echo. Yeah, it's still echo. I can still hear myself.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I hear myself in the background. It's like echo.
What other mic would I have on?
I'm not
sure. Let me
sure.
switch mics. Let me switch mics.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you back.
Try this. Hold on. No. Hold on. Just 1 second.
All right, let me get some of these comments off while you're doing that. All right. Joshua said,
what about now?
Hello? No, you're good now. You good.
What about now? I'm good?
Yeah, you good now. Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me what you thought about the game.
Man, I thought it was wild. Like I a couple times I had to switch channels because I was getting too emotional. I didn't think that they would come back after being down 26 points. However, defense stepped up. I am a little concerned about the bench scoring, which was almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And I thought that our last games that we were winning, our bench was giving us almost 40 points or more. And that hasn't been happening. Huge.
Right.
Yeah. The bench has to get involved more. But, it's kind of a contradiction if Brooke Lopez is giving you 38, which I don't know how many times that's going to happen.
Right.
Then you sacrifice some bench points. So
I agree, James. Hey, James Wood said, do you know how insanely amazing a team has to be pulling out these types of wins and they're still figuring it out? I agree. Shout out to you, James. Yeah, that's the thing. We're winning games when we don't really know what we're doing yet. So I do think that's a part on the positive side. That once we start clicking, it's gonna be it's gonna get ugly fast.
I think Damian Giannis are starting to click more as they're being able to both score 30 and still win, or over 20 game and still win. But I think it's the rest of the team that gotta kind of figure out where they fit in.
Shout out to you, Humilidon, Puerto Rico. That's my man, Puerto Rico, Humilidon.
Oh.
right. Let's see what Jay's talking about. Jay said, my opinion is I hate seeing a head coach sitting down with all of his assistant coaches. Get your up and pace the damn sidelines with some passion. Jay, all I'm gonna say to that is everybody got their different personality and traits. Some people are more vocal, some people are introverts. So maybe that just might be his style. But I do agree that I would rather see a little bit more some passion and looking like you're engaged in the game. So I do 100% agree with I do agree with where you coming from. But I'm just saying everybody's coach's style is different. But I do agree I want to see my coach more engaged. What about you?
He looked like his puppy died every time I see him. He looked like somebody like something tragic happened in his life. I said, "What? He always looks sad. Like, what's wrong with this man?" I
uh,
agree. Show some enthusiasm.
right. Hey, shout out to Pam. Hey, Pam said most fourth quarter points. Number one, Giannis, 129, 64.7 TS. Hey, Pam, stay coming with them receipts. Hey,
But
that's impressive though. Giannis number one in fourth quarter scoring is impressive.
you can't stop him.
You can't stop it. I agree.
Literally, you cannot stop him. There's nothing you can do.
Hey, like, but that's the thing though. That's why once they get it together, Giannis should know he can score whenever he wants. It's about getting the others, getting them to get to help because that's gonna make your life easier. And then you might not have to play 40 minutes if Beasley get hot again, or if Pat. I can't.
Well, I
I
can hear
can't
the
even say
booms
it
from right
seriously.
here.
Or Bobby or somebody else get hot and get going. It's gonna make him not have to work as hard. I think that's the way they should be thinking about that. Dame as well. Dame has to figure out his spots and he can't be scared to be aggressive early. He was
Yeah,
today. He wasn't hitting, but he needs to be more of that way to try to engage early because that's gonna make the
it's
defense start to focus on it.
and he getting. I think now too is he got to adjust to having different types of shot selections.
Mm,
Before he was able to score however he wanted to in Portland, and it's not the same luxury that he got here in Milwaukee. It's different. Now
mean
you got to
stat.
share the.
Hey, look at this. Look at this. My Dame has 114 at 70% TS in the fourth. So all that means then, Mike, is we're saying we probably got the two best fourth quarter or top
When it,
five fourth quarter scores in the NBA. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. We have the two best fourth quarter scores in the NBA. Two of the best.
and
That's a good thing. We should be happy about. And
oh
we
no,
and yeah, because that means we know how to close. That's the thing that we should talk about. The Bucks can close. They can close. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that we need to get them credit for is the ability to close.
no, agreed. I think they. I think that though, the biggest issue I have with them is they've been starting off real slow. Like we've been having to come back from huge deficits,
Right.
just like the Boston game. And unfortunately, I still blame that on coaching.
Okay.
He got to keep them. He got to keep them motivated. There's no.
See?
It's consistent. Two
James saying the
games in a
same
row. We're down
thing. We need someone to lead us. He's so are we questioning Adrian Griffin's leadership skills?
for now.
For now,
I
are
think
we
that
questioning? Chat,
you got
y'all
to get some
type in.
mentorship.
Are we questioning Adrian Griffin's leadership skills at this point? This early on, are we questioning that? I'm gonna check in the chat.
He's like a stepfather. You got to when he start coming around, you got to get used to him. You you know
Ah!
you're not getting used to him telling you what to do and getting
Right,
instructions
right,
like that. So I think they got to get used to and trust him. I think that's the whole process that has
right.
to happen.
No, I agree. But the turnovers in the first half were just crazy. That was really bad to me. Like we tightened up in the second half, but that's probably like I said, the worst first half I've seen in seen the Bucks play this year. That was terrible. That was
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it was bad. Like I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't. It was moments where I had to turn away. I couldn't even watch it. It was that bad.
My man AB said y'all need to call up Chicago and go dumpster diving. It's crazy.
Hey,
That's crazy.
no,
That's crazy.
but that's all facts, though. That's all facts.
That's wild, AB.
That is all facts.
Oh,
But I think
oh. But
with
hey, but
Middleton's
Giannis should
injury,
be the MVP running at this point. Giannis is dude. Giannis is on a run right now. Of the 30 plus games, I feel like he should be in the top three MVP votes at this point. I mean, what else can he do? What
do
else
you
should he
think that
be doing?
Boston? I think it's who you lose to. Also, though, did that Boston loss make it? You know, but it's kind of contradicted to say because I think Joker is a MVP candidate.
Correct.
And he's took some L's. It's not like they're sitting on number. They ain't number one seed in the West. So Giannis should be. If you're doing it by stats, you have to put Giannis up there.
Shout out to you,
You have.
RJ, back out there in the UK. Shout out. Let me 1 second. Mike said if this continues with Griff making the same mistake, I say Chris Middleton and let's make use of it. We'll see. I see you in the green room too, Gibson. Give me a second, bro. Let me just talk to Mike real quick. I'm gonna tap you in the three-way here in a second. Pause. King Key said, "AM, my season ticket rep gave me floor seats, bro. Was an experience. Oh, I bet. Whoa, yeah, he's got the floor seat. Hey, that speed different on the floor, ain't it? It be looking crazy. They be moving like that when you on the
Hey,
floor. That's like the true basketball experience. You can't even explain that. I know
hey,
we
when
didn't
you on the
did that a
floor,
couple times, Mike. Yeah, that floor,
hey,
that's
nah,
different.
when you're on the floor, everybody turns into them. When you're on the floor, there's them.
Right. I appreciate that, Keith. If you haven't already, please smash that like button, y'all. Helps us grow Bucks Nation, helps other people see the content. Hey, and this is friends and family. Let's grow this right here for Bucks Nation. This is the best Bucks podcast on YouTube and the best Bucks chat on YouTube. Let's go, y'all. Let's get them likes
Yeah.
up. Hey, we putting in the pain after every game. Y'all know where to come to chop it up about these Bucks, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's get them likes up. All right, let's see here. I see my boy Eric Payne in the house. Hey, what's your feeling about Bobby Portis? I know he had a good second half, but what's your feelings about Bobby P?
Bobby's been having problems so far. I mean, I think again he has to find his moments, and I don't think that he gets them too often. Because again, just these last games, he's competing for buckets now. Because
Right.
now you got Lopez, and now you also have uh, the kid, the shooting guard from that we got from the Lakers,
Beasley.
Beasley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been emerging as a scorer now. So I think he's really competing to try to find where he can get his buckets at.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
What up,
think
Valerie? No, I understand that, but I I just don't. We're notoriously having slow starts in games now. Somebody just said it in
yeah.
the chat. Like this is becoming a theme for the Bucks, the slow starts, and that's what I'm having a problem with. What is going on that makes them think they don't have to play for real at the beginning of the game? Yes, I know they're gonna come back in the second half. I know the Bucks are gonna go on a run. I understand that, but my point is
Well,
they
it
need to
shouldn't be
be
coming
putting
down
teams
to that.
away. Yeah, they should be these type of teams. Somebody said it before, and that is true. Obviously, this is a different time era that the Bucks under Bud was blowing teams out on a regular basis, and I agree with that. This is a different regime, different players, but I do that there is something to be said for that, and I think a lot of that has to do with self-inflicted wounds as far as turnovers and also poor defense. I think those are Achilles' heel right now. Is turnovers and poor defense. If we were to tighten up our defense and not let teams get all these easy looks or drive to the cup where for whatever reason, I don't know what Brook is thinking about, where he drops all the way like under the basket, which I don't understand what benefit that gives, but whatever. And
Yeah.
if we can tighten that up and adjust that, and I don't know why we're not seeing the 2-3 zone anymore. That was effective. I don't know why that's not like our permanent thing. Then if that gets, you know what I'm saying, if teams start eating off of that, then adjust out of that. But I just feel like why aren't we going to the 2-3 zone again? That was working. I just don't. Griffin got to explain to the people, bro.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
but I think like everybody else, they still trying to figure it out. But I think that he needs a stronger support system. You know, he needs an assistant coach that's a lot
Speaking
more
assistant coach,
knowledgeable.
that's what my boy Gibson be talking about all the time. Let me tap you in, Gibson. Hold on, let me add Gibson up
Yeah,
here. What up, Gibson? Go ahead.
Peace and peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, Mike. Peace and love, Mike. Peace and
what's
love. It's
up,
from the
brother?
Bahamas. Peace, peace, peace.
Yeah, my
Oh
boy.
man, I'm jealous right now.
All right. Hey, we got snow up here, Gibson.
I got my heat on,
Hey,
brother. I got my
Right. It's cold up here. My man Gibson in
Yo,
the Bahamas, right. So tell me
man,
how you felt about today's game.
boy, when I watch that game, boy, all I can do is hold my head and say, Lord, 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 what are this team is coming to? All I can do is shake my head. We giving up too much points to other
Right.
teams.
Hold on one second, Gibson. We got a super chat. Dwiz Dwarf 3. Appreciate the super chats, bro. Salute to you. He's with the 199 super chat said Bobby needs to cook in the second half. While Pat eyes emojis. I'm they trying to open the floodgates on Pat. I feel the thunder. They're trying to open up on Pat. He did play
Griffin
20
give him
minutes for
so many
5 points.
minutes. He played almost half the game. You can't give Beauchamp no time. That's crazy.
this go ahead, Gibson first. We gonna cook on that in a minute. Go ahead, Gibson.
Please tell us what you think, bro. Please.
Like what I said earlier, Amber. Like what Mike said, Griffin need a solid. I keep on saying it in the chat. I keep on bringing it up. The front office have to get Griffin some help because everybody coming for his head. We never get a replacement. We never get a replacement for Terry Scott. Where is the replacement come from? How long it is going to take? That's what I would like to find. That's all I come in the chat to find out. When is the assistant coach is coming for Griffin? That's what I would love to know. I would love to know that because our defense is terrible. We dropped it. What we can't
Is
even
it
defend.
anybody that you have in mind? Is there any coach that you have in mind?
Yeah, I had 2 coaches in mind, Mike. I had Mike Jackson. He was a head coach before, and Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni to run our offense. That's the 2 guys I had in mind. Mike D'Antoni and Mark Jackson.
I'm with Mike, but Mark can be a bit of a super preacher.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's low key. He's low key banned.
In the water bottles.
Yeah, that was a low key ban. I think Mark Jackson is low key banned. I'm not 100% on that, but I would love to get D'Antoni in here for but it's like the offense really isn't the problem right now. I know it's not smooth, but we're able to score a point, but our defense is terrible. And that's the scary thing. I thought Adrian Griffin was supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach. So it's a little concerning that I'm not seeing the proper adjustments yet, and it's like the same old rinse and repeat as far as what's going on defense. Chitty, I'm going to tap you in a minute. Let me finish talking to Gibson. I'm going to tap you in a minute. And I just feel like it's the same old. And the whole point that where Bucks Nation was excited for Adrian Griffin to be the head coach was because we were under the impression from what we were told that he's a defensive-minded coach. He created the wall against Giannis and all of that. And I'm not seeing all of that right now from Adrian Griffin. All these specials that he allegedly had and making adjustments and things like that and being defensive-minded. Because if that was the case, why are we not seeing that yet? What is the disconnect with Adrian Griffin and his team where everything was working with the Raptors and it's not, and whatever he's trying to implement is not working, and it's not just not working, it's epically bad. We're in the bottom of the NBA in any defensive category you could think of. You can just throw one to the wall and it'll stick, and we'll be bad at it. We're absolutely terrible. So I that is my one of my biggest concerns with Adrian Griffin, and that where I need to see change. And it's not Dame's fault. That's not Dame's fault. Correct. That's not Dame's fault.
Let's use an illustration there, Mike and Amber. Let's look at what Ime Udoka get to do with the Rockets. They is the top. They on a roll with defense. They locking it down. So,
right.
So
and that's coaching. That's coaching. That's coaching right there.
What's funny is we have individual good players that are good on defense. So I feel like formulating it shouldn't be that hard.
1 second. Shout out to you, Vivian. She said the Bucks have tested my patience to greater levels. Going forward, I'm going to be very positive and quit being too reactive. Shout out to you. Vivian.
Positive energy.
Yeah. You got the Bucks need. We just want to talk about things they need to improve on. But we're happy the Bucks are winning, and we gonna keep the positive vibe. It's also positive. The Bucks are definitely a fourth quarter team, so I feel confident in tight games down the stretch that we'll win or figure out a way to win. Somebody will come up big. Even this year, Pat Connaughton has come up big in the fourth quarter, so that lets you know it can be anybody. So that's one of the positives I do want to talk about. But we can't. But then we got to talk about the other side. The other side is this defense. It's really bad. Like. It's hard to watch at times. And again, this is not being negative. This is just merely stating an observation of what is actually happening. If I look outside and it's raining, I say it's raining. I'm not hating on the weather. I'm just saying what it is. You know what I'm saying? And what it is the Bucks defense is suspect. And it's making us have to play harder than we need to play to win games. Period.
Very true.
So
very true.
My problem is, Amber, why is Ajak and Bocham getting less minute, and Beasley and Condon getting more. That's what I'm concerned about.
Bees,
That's my concern.
Beasley's at least scoring
Pat
double
plays.
figures. He can't.
Pat
Yeah, he's at
plays
least scoring
literally
double
half the
figures.
game. Pat's getting like 22 minutes a game, which is too much. He definitely should be sharing
Yeah,
those minutes.
yeah, it's 20
with
minutes
both
too
teams.
much.
Yeah, it's
So
way too much. And tonight he's not productive with the time he's there. He's not a great defender. He's not hitting open threes. He's just out there.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I know most of the nation is Pat haters, and I'm starting to be recruited.
So Griffin got to do a better. Griffin got to do a more better job. You got to get the team well organized. I'm not in the first half. You have team coming in your own building, blowing you out. Every game we watch this week, it's like we have to be in a dogfight to claw our way back. It ain't supposed.
Chitty, I'm gonna tap you in a minute. 1 second, Gibson. That got super chat. Nick Swin, what's good? Appreciate the super chat, Nick Swin. 199. Appreciate you, bro. Make you really think about why Stotts left. That is the $1 million question everybody would like to know. And that's what I would really like to know as well. Good question, Nick Swin. I think everybody wants to know why he left because it is very strange. Very strange.
Behind that puppy face, he's really just like a douchebag coach.
Right. Oh, I see you in the chat, Stacy. Shout out, Stacy.
And Amber too, we have to, like, when we start the game, we cannot allow other teams to get on the run and we fighting and clawing out. No. Never. We're supposed to try put teams away early. We can't have them hanging around in the game. Then we fighting for their life. It is not making any sense.
Against this type of team. This type of team, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel is the problem. We just got to tighten up on defense. Adrian Griffin needs you know what it is? This is what it is. Bucks Nation wants Adrian Griffin to show us why he was the right choice as the head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's it, and we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen the value that he has brought to this team as of yet, which is why the Bucks Nation is frustrated. We brought you in because we thought you were the missing link because Bud doesn't make any adjustment, and your whole claim to fame was making adjustments in defense, which you've shown neither.
So
that's the question. That's what it is. That's why people are hot.
So I'm really trying to say this was a scam. The fool.
It looked like a scam right now, Mike. Am I wrong for saying? I'm not calling him a scam. I'm just saying it's looking scammy. If it's not a scam, it's scammy.
I guess I really would want to see what the defense is first half versus second half of the ball game. I'm gonna be curious to see what those numbers are because I bet it'll be a little different.
It's gonna definitely be different. Definitely be different. Yeah, hey, Gibson, let me tap in Chitty real quick. But call me back in. Hey, before you go, hey, Gibson, before you go, come on, man.
Peace and love.
There we go. All right, my dude. All right, go.
All right, Mike. I see you.
All right, go.
Later, peace.
Let me tap in my boy Chitty. Chitty, what's good?
Hey, Amara, what's up? How you doing?
All right, man. How you doing, man? Tell me how you feel today.
I'm good. I'm good.
They was with you in the chat. Hey, last live, Chitty's like, hey, man, Chitty was on Middleton last month. Hey, Mike, Chitty was bombing on Middleton with all types of stats going back to like 2020. It was wild, bro. It was wild.
Professional Middleton hater.
Yeah, professional hater. So tell me how you feel today, Chitty. I know you covered to say so wild. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Bro, before I start, I don't know the brother to my left hand side.
There's Mike. There's Mike O. Mike,
how are you doing?
Good, man. Good. I want to hear the Middleton hate. I'm ready for it.
So tell me how you feel today, Chitty. Tell me how you feel today.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good, Amara. Thank you for everything.
It's all
thank you
good,
for having
man.
me on this.
Hey, we all won at Bucks Nation. You know what I'm saying? We all won. But tell me how you felt about the game today. I see you in the chat, Brandon. I'll get to you in a minute. Let Chitty cook for a minute. Chitty got to do what he do. Go ahead, Chitty.
I'm going to be honest though, right? I think I think this is the concept of what Griffin is trying to do. And I've been a bit worried about what he's trying to do, but now I figured it out. So the first half of every game, it's not a mistake anymore. This is kind of like our formation right now. First half of every game, we use that to understand what the opposing team is trying to do or play, and then the second half is where we now implement our own thing based on the data we've collected from the first half.
Okay.
So what we're playing right now is winning basketball. That's what we're playing. If you notice, during the playoffs, that's the same thing that the Miami Heat did against us for the sweep. The first half, we always were leading with like 20 points. But in the second half, like, we
The
don't
light goes on,
understand
and we're a
what's
completely different team. There is some validity to that, though.
exactly.
There's a Mike. What you think about? There's some
Exactly.
validity to that.
No, I agree too. I agree 100%.
16. We have 12 wins right now out of 17 of the games we played. It's not a mistake that every one of them will be leading from behind. As in, we'll be beating teams in the second half and we'll be winning from behind. Exactly. It's not a mistake.
Okay.
No.
And I think what this is actually doing is giving us a
one second, Chitty. I just want to shout out this dude real quick. 1 second, Chitty. Hold on. Emerson finally found the Bucks after game pod. Is this a regular post game show, win or lose? Yes, sir. We here after every game. Chitty will tell you that. Michael will tell you. We here after every game, ain't we, Chitty?
We are always here after every game.
Okay, continue. Okay. And shout out to you, Emerson. Yeah, go ahead, Chitty.
Yeah. So if you notice in the first half, our defense is not always that tight. But look at our defense in the second half. It's kind of like everywhere is locked up because we now understand what the opposing team is actually playing from the data we've collected from the first half. So in the second half, when we're implementing it, these teams are always like thrown off. If you notice, they're always surprised. And guess what? We did it against the Celtics, but we didn't deliver in a very like excellent way like we did in the previous 5 wins that we had.
We had a couple of mistakes down the stretch. I see what you're saying. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's a fair
comeback. Point. That comeback we did against Celtics would have won this. Would have won the Celtics game because it was close to 3. Right. It was that Dame dunk. If you had just laid up that ball and not dunk it, would have actually won that game. And I think that was the cleanup that we did against the Wizards, Washington Wizards, and we're doing today against the Portland Trail Blazers. What we're doing is fantastic, and I don't think we would actually sustain this to the end of the season. But we're doing this to beat the referees first of all.
Oh,
because
shout out!
When
the refs are terrible. Everybody could see that block by Giannis was clean. I don't even see why we had to challenge that. That was plain as day. Mike, would you agree that block was plain as day?
That block was totally clean.
I mean, anybody could see that.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're playing this kind of game. We're playing this kind of game to beat the refs with their impartial kind of refereeing. And we're also playing this game to destabilize our opponents. Because guess what? The opposing team, the coach will be too proud to call a timeout because, okay, we've been leading by 20 points or double digits, so why do I call it timeout? We'll figure it out, right? So they wouldn't call a timeout. But then we're actually playing pressure ball with pressure defense. So that in return, we're actually winning the second half. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
No. I would say that our stats are. I would say on offense and defense, I would think our stats are better in the second half. We've been more of a second half team this year, and the thing is,
by far.
Yeah, I think we're by far a better second half team. But the problem is, why does it take so long to collect the data? I guess is the problem. We shouldn't have to be down 20 to figure it out, and then have to go on a 12-3 run here, 16-4 run here to get back in the game. That is an exude that you're giving out a lot of energy, and I just don't feel that it's needed, especially against these bottom feeder teams. No disrespect to Portland, but they're bottom feeder team. We should be able to put our foot on their throat. Instead, we in dog fights. You know what I'm saying? And I guess how why does it take so much time? And then why are we getting down at such large amounts before these adjustments are made? That's the problem.
Now, Amara, that's a good point I just raised, but I think something else again. Art of war, if you want to beat your enemy, you don't just beat them straight up. You beat them in a way that you instill fear in them. You beat them both mentally and physically. So that dogfight is not just the ordinary dogfight, it's the dogfight to beat you mentally and psychologically, so that when you come back to come play me, you would remember the way I beat you the last time, and it should just destabilize you on the court. So, but I don't think we would play this till like mid of like after the All-Star game. I think we would actually pick form from first half, right? What I'm seeing is we're beating these teams, are beating them in a very masterful way. That when we've gotten all the data we need, in other words, the way they want to play us as opponents now, we are going to use that against them. Because by then, when we're blowing out these teams, we're blowing them out because psychologically they're not even in the game. So, and it's a great way. I think what I'm seeing right now, the only person that I saw doing something similar to this was Ime Udoka during the Celtics time. It was a close dogfight, and if you notice, that was what destabilized the Milwaukee Bucks during Budenholzer's time against Ime Udoka's Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the playoffs, it did a number on Giannis and some of those players. The way they were able to carry that game from,
but that's what I'm saying. Ime Udoka doesn't take a first half. He's making in-game adjustments as things are happening. That is what I'm saying. That's what I expected. I expected Griffin to be a carbon copy of Ime Udoka. And I guess that's where maybe that's my fault for overestimating his ability. Because what makes Ime Udoka great is he's able to adjust on the fly. He's able to see things within minutes of the game and make adjustments then and there. That's why the Rockets are good. It's not no excuse. They have the same players they always had or the last couple years, but now they have a coach that truly understands the X's and O's and is being able to put them in places to be effective on both sides of the court. In my opinion.
Amara, let me ask you a question, right? You know the Celtics. We all know when the Celtics are being ref, they ref the Celtics in a very great way, amazing way. You know, teams are always questioning refs when they ref a Celtics game. Even last year, LeBron James, the whole LeBron James, who is the what they call it, NBA face of NBA, actually cried in one of the Celtics regular season game because of the way the refs blow. Now, Ime Udoka can actually implement his first half with strong defense and his second half with so strong defense because the refs are on his side. But the Bucks team, the refs are not on our side. We can't play strong defense in the first half. The refs have never been on our side.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to say. Thank you. Say that. And I know how.
It's just the honest truth. So we can't play strong defense in the first half because if we do that, we're going to have all sorts of fouls, even technical fouls.
Exactly, Stacey. It's like that's what Chitty is saying as well, Stacey. It's like we're just throwing away the first half. Like, whatever happens, we can come back, and that shouldn't be the mentality.
Wait a minute. You can't just blame it on the officials, though.
No, we're not just blaming it on the officials, though.
Okay,
we're not. We're not blaming. But we're saying is we're playing poorly in the first half, but then the refs aren't helping us either. They're not doing us no favors. And I just understand why the mentality we have, like someone said, why can't we start every game like we're in the fourth quarter and then in our head just say we're already down 20? Do you get what I'm saying? Because when they see it on the score, it's like a light off, and then they just start hoping, man.
But the problem with that, if we start first quarter like we play fourth quarter, the problem with that is we'll get a lot of fouls. We'll be in a lot of foul troubles. And what will happen is we'll end up losing a lot of players that we also have on the pitch. You will end up giving the opponent team a lot of free throw points. So,
Right.
so in other words, if the refs see that the game is going one sided, meaning that maybe the opposing team is leading by a huge number, they'll be a bit lenient with their calls, and they'll be
Right.
able to call to at least fairly ref the game.
Right. Hold on one
You're
second. Let
So
putting
me
a
get
that's
lot
the
this
of
little
tactics.
Rod.
stress on the
Let
referee.
me get this comment from Lil Rod because this is a good comment. He said I keep forgetting that despite Dame's poor game, he's still putting up 25 and 5 and 6 assists on average, and he's not even clicking yet. That's a good point. Dame is putting up solid numbers, and he's not even in his bag yet. And we got to think
No,
about that too. Dame is not even Dame yet, and we're still winning, and he's still putting up adequate numbers, and he hasn't gone crazy yet.
very true.
Good
Very
comment, Lil
true.
Yeah,
Rod.
And the
yeah,
games that they've clicked, the games that
yeah,
they've
yeah.
clicked,
I do
they've
agree,
had more.
I do agree, but I think that what we're running in the first half of games are not really how would I put it? They are not really the way our formation is set to play the game for the whole 48 minutes. The way we play our first half games and not the way we want to run our formation for the whole 48 minutes. What
Right.
we do is we play so low because we know first half games,
Oh,
even the opposing team, the
good
coach is
point,
actually
Valerie.
collecting data from it.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah, you
I
wanted
get
to
what
say
you're saying.
something?
I get what you're saying. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit frustrating. I got my boy Brandon in the green room, so I want to tap him in a minute. So give me your last statement, Chitty.
Oh, okay, great. So my last statement would be we should give this box team some time. I
Okay.
think they are I think they're working on something really incredible. And I think Griffin might actually be one of the coaches that would win the championship this season. I think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
so. He's
They just
not
need
just
some
only
time.
Like
matured.
your confidence.
Yeah, I do too, and
Yeah,
I feel it.
he's not only just matured to the point of understanding what the opposing teams are doing, but he's even learning on the job faster than we think.
It's just
So one
maybe
of the
some
examples,
pressure. Yeah, I know that, but I agree with you, and I think that's why I think everybody's looking at a 20 game mark to really see where we're at. I think 20 games, about a fourth of the way through the season, we'll start to kind of see how this team is going to be. But on the positive side, like we're all saying, we're still winning. We're still in the top,
yeah,
like in the
because
top of the
at
East. We're still
17,
winning. We're still winning games.
exactly at
Right,
17 games we are 12-5. Well,
right.
actually, if the Celtics lose today, we'll be number one.
See what I'm saying? So we're still
And
where we
if
need
the
to
Magic
be.
loses today, we'll be at number one. Like it's amazing what we're doing. Maybe one thing that the NBA is actually not happy about is maybe a team like Celtics that was supposed to like go in a dogfight, which that game did not explain truly what we were trying to execute. I think we did execute our plan properly in that
We'll
game.
play them better.
I
I
was
think we'll play
frustrated in
them
that
better
game.
at home. I definitely think we're gonna play them better at home. But Chitty, let me tap in Brandon and just tap back in a
Exactly.
little bit.
And
All
my,
right, all right,
Okay.
all right.
I got a question for
Oh,
you,
go ahead.
Chitty.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. No, hold on one second, Chitty. Go ahead, Mike.
Do I mean Chitty? Don't you can drop him. It's just
Okay.
a general question.
Okay. Go ahead though.
Yeah. So do you think though part of the issue be is that the players aren't buying into his system? Like, do
I
you
think
think
it's
that
they just need
they're
to
not
adjust
sold
to
on
be
what
in
he's
his
trying?
system. I think they have to adjust to be in his system. I
The
wouldn't
reason
say
I
that
say
they're
that,
not buying in. I
do
can't
you
say.
remember though?
No,
Am I wrong? What
no, I don't.
wasn't Giannis upset? Hold on, wasn't Giannis upset about being taken out a couple
Yeah,
games ago?
yeah,
Yeah,
but then he
yes.
adjusted to what he said though. With
You know,
what
but
they had an argument.
I'm just showing that as one point of
Uh,
maybe they're not sold on what he's trying to offer.
No,
I
I
don't think
don't think
so
so.
because they keep backing him and
I don't
Giannis
think
has
so.
already said this is a you know what I'm saying. Like I don't think so. I think it's just taking time. They've been doing the same thing for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take time. Yeah, I mean it's gonna take a little time.
Yeah.
But let me tap in Brandon real quick and just tap back in a few minutes. My man Chitty
All
always
right,
out here
Amara.
dropping dollars. My
Yeah.
boy. All
All right,
right.
Amara. All right,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. Call
Yeah.
back in a few.
Yeah.
All right. My man. All right. Go. What's up, Brandon? Tell me how you feeling, Brandon.
What's up?
What up? What up? You too close to the camera, fam. You gonna have to fall back, bro. You too close to
Yeah.
the camera. That was crazy.
There you go.
There you go. That man was like.
Up close and personal. Like he was about to tell a secret.
Right. He's like, hold on, let me.
Hey,
Hey, can y'all hear me? Like he's about to keeps getting kidnapped. Like that, right?
Right. Hey, blink twice.
Blink twice if you safe, fam. 3 times if you not. All right, tell me how you feel about today's game, Brandon. Go ahead.
Well, it was a good game. I suppose that was the order. But, hey, I was not at my house. I was at my homie's house.
Okay. So what did you think about the game?
Hey, I'm glad we came all the way back. That put you at 27 or 26 points.
26 points we came back. 26 points, and we held them to 34 points in the second half. So we locked down second half. Mr. Smith, I'm gonna tap you in a minute, bro. I see you in the green room. Give me a second. Hold on, your screen ain't showing up yet. Hey, Mr. Smith, I see you in the green room, but I don't see your camera on. But hopefully you get on here in a minute. But go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, we had it in the right direction.
Right, I agree.
About we still need an offensive coach.
And we need to tighten up on the defense.
Like I said, Matt, the defense, they're looking shaky.
Yeah, they're definitely looking shaky. Definitely
Brandon,
looking shaky.
who would you like to see out there more?
Yeah, who would you like to see? I see you, Mr. Smith, now. Good looking. Just give me a couple minutes to talk to Brandon. I'm going to tap you in, Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
Hey, I think Andrew Wiggins needs to pick things up quick.
Okay, well, today Andre Jackson Jr. started, though. Andre Jackson Jr. did start today in place of Middleton. I think the problem with y'all are the problem is, and we keep harping on this every episode, is the playing time that people like Connaughton are getting, we think could be better utilized with other people.
I agree with that. I agree.
What up, Dwizdorf? I see you in there.
And Chris Middleton's minutes.
Right.
I think Pat the bench.
Oh, yeah. Pat should stay on the bench, not come off the bench. He should stay in the bench. Hold on one second. Hey, Mr. Smith, Dwizdorf, I see y'all in the lobby. I'm gonna tap y'all both in a minute. Go ahead, Brandon.
Who we got next?
Hold on. Let me see. That's a good question. I'm sure they probably just said it in the chat, but hold on one second. Let me look here. This is taking too long.
We got the Heat.
The Heat.
We got Miami next.
Okay, so that's gonna be a big game. Miami, yep, big game.
Miami's been struggling lately too.
Right. So that's gonna be a big game. They're gonna be looking to get back, and that's a team that always plays as tough. So we're gonna have to see what's up with that. But Brandon and Michael, let me just tap them in for a minute, and then can y'all call back in a couple for real, Michael, call back in a couple minutes. You too, Brandon. Let me just tap them in, and then I'm gonna get y'all back up here.
All right.
All right, yeah. We tap you in, Mr. Smith. What's good? Let me tap you in, Dwizdor. There you go. What's going on, gentlemen? Shout out, Mr. Smith. This is my boy Dwizdorf. We always trapping it up on Instagram. So I'm gonna shoot to you first.
Yo.
I said, what up? So I'm gonna go to you, Mr. Smith, first, and then you, Dwizdor. Tell me how you felt about the game today, Mr. Smith.
Well, firstly, salute
Appreciate
to you,
it.
to all the people in the chat, you know what I mean? Especially salute to my man Gibson.
Yeah.
Always positivity.
Always, right.
You know what I mean? Salute to that. I appreciate that. I think Milwaukee is they're caught in a vicious cycle, right? They're reading from the same script that they've been reading from for a little while now, right? Because if you go back a couple of games, right, we got all the way behind against the Pacers,
Mm-hmm.
stormed all the way back, couldn't get across the finish line. Got all the
Right.
way behind against the Celtics, stormed all the way back, couldn't get across the finish line. Got all the way behind against the Nets, stormed all
Storm
the way
all the
back,
way
couldn't get
back.
across the
Right.
finish line. Got all the way behind against these Blazers, stormed all the way back. It's habit forming, right? You know what I mean? So I think right now the coaches and the players are in a bad habit of starting off the game completely ass, right? Completely
Right.
ass mentally, effort wise, everything. You know what I mean? And then for whatever reason, whatever speech gets made at halftime is not getting made in the beginning of the game. I don't know.
That's what I want to get here. Thank you. What are you
Right.
saying at halftime that you are not saying in the first quarter or when they walking out the walking out the tunnel? That's crazy. Amtrak's my man. I see you in the green room. I get to you in 1 second. Let me just chop it up with them for a moment. Especially my
It
man's
must be.
Wizdor, first time call in. Go ahead.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
what's
it
going
must
on,
be effort.
guys?
Go ahead. Yeah, tell me
What's
how you
happening?
felt about today's game, bro.
Oh man, I feel like we're playing our bench players first. I don't know what's going on. We're cooking when it really matters. And just to add to that, I feel like Coach Griff, he's giving them the pregame warm up during halftime. Like, what's going on?
right, right. Tell them you should be telling pregame at halftime. Yeah, they got to figure that out because that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's interesting too because I was watching it on TV, and during halftime, the assistant coach is like, "Yeah, we talked to the players. We're definitely gonna punch them in the mouth." It's just like we should be doing that in the first quarter. Punch them in the mouth. We got big players.
Right.
Who can stop Brook?
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Smith, we've been saying that they had a formula to work and completely abandoned it. You got big Brook Lopez, 7 foot, that just scored 39 points and 30 points the other night. Clearly, there's a theme going here. Why are you not feeding that man? Especially when we're struggling, just give it to him at a post. Worst case scenario, he gets fouled. He's an 80% free throw shooter. There's not really a bad thing that can happen giving the ball to Brook in the post. Completely agreed.
If there was analytics of how many alley oops should be in a game, we should have the highest assists for that.
I
We
agree.
Right.
got the tallest players in the league. Why? I should see the ball going above the rim,
All the
above the
time.
backboard at least.
That shows how our offense is not together yet though. We're
Right.
just I think we're just kind of playing and we have so much elite talent that we're covering up a lot of flaws. We got to understand we
Yeah.
got two top 75 players. You have that type of firepower on your team. You're going to win a lot of games just by default. Just by complete default, you'll win a lot of games. Would you agree with that, Mr. Smith? Just with that much elite talent, you're going to win games.
I think you're going to get beyond a lot of the teams that you play just based on that alone for sure. What I don't like about what I'm seeing with these guys right now is that the switch mentally goes off in like the second half in the fourth quarter. Damian Lillard, uh, Bobby Portis was out there playing horribly, and then all of a sudden the switch went off. I'm glad it went off, don't get me
Right.
wrong, but I just wish that it could go off much sooner than it does. But for me, as aggravating as the offense can be sometimes, I'm not nearly as concerned about that as I am about the defense. I think the defense, there is a systemic problem when it comes to that. I think the
Right.
offense, it's an attitude thing. It's like I was saying in the other one. I think it's about mentality. You come out and you get aggravated enough, and Brook Lopez decides that no one's going to stop him. No one's really stopping him, right? You know what
Right,
I
that's
mean?
it.
But
Facts.
but but defensively, systemically, the problem, and I don't know everything. I mean, I just, to me, it looks like they're trying to overcompensate for the fact that they have very poor point of attack defense, right? With all of this
Maybe
overhelp,
they're
right?
overhelping.
And so
That's a
what
good
ends
point.
up happening is, right, because the defensive shell itself becomes compromised or whatever, And then teams are just very easily finding where the open shooter is. That's why I am tired of seeing someone sprint out to the 3-point shooter 2 and 3 steps behind, because what's happening is that you'll get mediocre shooters and they see that ball go down the first time
Scoot
and then they just
Henderson.
start
Scoot
warming up.
Henderson is shooting like 20%. He was 3 of 6 today from 3-point line. He's like a 26%. You get clean. They're in the NBA. If you get clean looks, you're gonna eventually hit some open jumpers. If you get clean looks, you're in the NBA.
And to add to that, if you notice too, when the opposing team has a corner open for threes, the person that's in the post playing defense, they're just watching. They're not moving. They're not moving to that corner. They're just watching. I've seen Bobby Portis look at it a couple times, just like, oh, is that my guy to guard?
Right? He's like, oh, am I supposed to do something right?
1,000%.
Bobby P's defense is very concerning. I know he had a couple blocks today. That was cool, but Bobby's defense is definitely concerning. It's a little concerning.
So, and I think that feeds into the offense, right? Because I think people get tired. I know I would be, you know what I mean? From my days of playing basketball, right? I think people get tired of watching the ball go in the net, right? And because there is no fast break at that point. It slows you down because you're always up against the other team's half-court defense when they're constantly making shots, right? And so they don't have to think, the opposing team doesn't have to think about basketball nearly as much as we do.
You see what Sherrill, hey, y'all see what Sherrill said? Amtrax, I'm going to tap you in 1 second. Let me put this comment back up here in the chat. So Sherrill said, how did we go from one of the top defensive teams to the bottom? This just makes no sense, especially when the head coach was a defensive coach. It's suspect. That's how it feels. That's how it. Sherrill, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's how it feels for real. That's how it feels.
I think it's a couple of things. I think we have much better point of attack defense. I know no one ever wants to talk about Drew. I am kind of beyond talking about Drew as well, but it does need to be pointed. It doesn't make it any less true, right? He was an amazing point of attack defender, and we had Javon Carter, who was an amazing point of attack defender. We lost 2. We didn't just lose 1. We lost 2, right? Then, for as much as people would like to talk about Bud got to a point last year anyway where he said, we're not helping. So whatever it is you're going to do on defense, you better.
That's what it should be, and that's the way it should be.
Right? And so our post defense, and we were able to clog up in the paint a lot better. I think what these guys are doing is to try and clog up in the paint a lot better and to do what they did similar to last year. I think that's kind of like my handle on it right now. But without that point of attack defense, they can't stop people from penetrating into the paint. And then people step up, and then we're constantly playing in the trail position. We're constantly trailing the play. We very easily get confused when that happens. That's when you start seeing, oh, is that my guy? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And people are shooting wide open threes or whatever. And at this point, we hope that the 3-point shooting drops as far as the accuracy in the games are concerned. Now, against the Blazers, it did. The Blazers showed you why they only won 4 games, because as soon as we started running at them, they lost.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Thank goodness they did. I don't know that Denver does. I don't know that Boston does. I definitely know that Phoenix is not. You spot these teams 15 points, you've lost the game.
You lost the game. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know, so I am tired of the second half or the first half mentality. I really am. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Oh, no, I definitely feel like that. Mr. Smith, can you tap back in 1 second? I got another first-time caller in the chat, so give me like 5, but tap back in, Mr. Smith, because I want you to tap back in with Mike O. So just give me a second. All right, Dwayne, stay online. I'm going to tap you in, Amtrak.
Even to add to this, too, what would we rather have right now? We would rather have Coach Bud in this situation, or would we rather pay poorly with Coach Griff, where we are still winning? We're not even in our 20 game yet.
Agree.
And
what up,
Amtrak? 5 now?
Yeah.
What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on 1 second, Dwar. Yeah, my boy Amtrax. That's who make all my intro beats. Any beats you hear on this channel come for this man right here. Shout out to my boy Amtrax, NAZ. Beats by the
appreciate
pound.
all the people giving me shouts out for the beats, Mr. Smith, Gibson, all that. Appreciate Brandon for letting me come on to the chat today.
Right. Shout out to you. All right, finish your comment. Then I want to get what you felt about today's game. Amtrax, go ahead, Dwizdor, with your finish your comment, sir.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, and I'll
Uh,
leave it to
Okay.
Amtrax. You know, we're pretty much like the Warriors of the East.
My mom just said that to me 2 hours ago. No joke. She said you guys are just like the Warriors. She's like, you love getting down and then clawing your way back for whatever reason. That's a great point. Hey, Airtrax, my mom's literally just said that. Literally. Crazy.
Man,
Go
I don't
ahead.
doubt it.
All right, go ahead. No, that's how we play.
And then
That's
to wrap
that's
it up,
that's
last
dead
word
serious
here.
how we play.
Just to make everyone laugh, I just saw a post of people saying Dame's like George Hill in the first 3 quarters, and then Dame time comes in the fourth quarter.
That's ridiculous. That's funny but ridiculous. But I understand why they would say that. Damn, George Hill. Yeah, that's crazy.
Shout out to George Hill.
So, Airtrax, tell me how you felt about today's game, bro.
Man, today's game was like mad frustrating. You know what I'm saying? It's in the first half. I'm like, are we playing any defense? It's like there
Let me.
was no closeouts. People were getting lost. They were running like a quick action type of a pick and roll on us, and then we couldn't decide whether or not we was gonna switch or chase or stay with the man.
We
And
look
then
confused. We look
like,
confused.
yeah, and then it led to like a wide open three.
Every
And it
time,
was
don't it? When
just
we scattering,
crazy.
it's always a three. They were shooting almost 50% in the first half from three.
Man.
Let's understand, ladies and gentlemen, they were cooking us in that first half. Cooking us.
And then I ain't never seen an NBA team in like 3, 4 games in a row miss this many layups and dunks uncontested,
And then
like the ball
Dame
slipping
with
out of
that
their
layup dunk
hands.
thing that Dame did was crazy.
Yeah, it's like somebody put roots on them or something. It's like I've never seen that before. It's like the ball will just be gone, Dame all by himself. The ball will pop out, we'll get hung. It's like, what is happening?
Bro,
Like in the fourth quarter, or I think it was the end of the third. I think Dame had a missed dunk, and then Bobby had a missed dunk, and then right after that, Giannis shot an airball three, and we could have cut the lead to like 10 or 8, I believe, but instead, like they came down and then they scored, and it was right back up to 15. So
right.
I think what happened here is like the Bucks really turned up about halfway through the third quarter. They was like, "Oh, you trying to embarrass me on TV?" Like that kind of stuff. And then
Right. Not tonight. Right.
yeah, and then it's just the Portland turned into Portland. Right. First, they was the Warriors, and then if you look at their statistics, nobody on that team really shoots good threes.
Right.
So they regress to the mean. So I think the combination of the Bucks defense and then them regressing to what they normally do, that kind of helped let all the air out, and then we came back.
Right.
But I mean, you can't start a game like that, and it's like it's a broken record with these dudes.
That's exactly what Mr. Smith was saying. It's rinse and repeat, the same thing. Like they wanted to say that Damian Lillard played like George Hill the first 3 quarters. The team played like George Hill the first 3 quarters. Then the fourth
Right.
quarter we play like a championship team. We do everything right in the fourth, damn near. We do everything right. It's like what is the disconnect? Why can't you guys do what you do in the fourth for the previous 3 quarters? It's wild. It's a completely
Right.
different team in the fourth quarter. I know it's coming. Now, if we down by 10, in my head, we up by 5.
Right. It's like people were saying on here, it's like before the game, like in the huddle, where they try to get hype before the game in the tunnel, somebody need to be like, we down by 20.
Right.
And then they'll snap.
Right.
Like,
There's some on the
0-0,
sideline.
they come out and they be
Yeah.
like, we not interested in this game until you get us down.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. It shouldn't be. We should want to. Don't y'all want to chill? Hey, let me say, my brother was playing on the team. I'll be trying to blow people out so we can sit and chat and just politic for a minute. Why do I want to play 40 minutes?
Right.
Why should you want to play 40 minutes, especially against these teams? I can understand if they're top tier teams, then it should be. I'm gonna tap in Mike. Oh, here too. Hold on 1 second. Amtrax. Hold on.
Yeah, but shout out to the Bucks for coming back though, and
That's what I'm saying. Hold on a second. Hey, I'm adding you
I'm
back
in.
here.
it
There
in
you
being
go.
a
There you
Sunday
go.
afternoon game this time of year. It's like a weird time. I don't think you get games this early this time. Normally this time of year. So shout out to them. And they probably looking forward to Tuesday with Miami. That's like the clincher for the money tournament. So it was a lot
Okay.
of stuff that they had going against them, but it's like, man, you can't let this team come in here and like blow the doors off. Like they could have been down by 30 at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
What
you
up,
know
true.
what
Mike?
though? You start looking at the top teams. You look at their records. Okay, Bucks is 12-5. Boston 12-4 in the East. That's one game. Minnesota 11-4. That's one game. I mean, Jesus Christ! Like I think that people are overreacting a bit. But at the same time, I think everybody's starting off slow. It's been a lot of the league got shuffled a lot with a lot of different players.
And you got to
So
give them
it's a
time to
lot of things
adjust.
that, yeah. I mean, everybody different.
Like the Clippers.
I
I mean,
think
they lost 5 in a row, but they ain't starting to look a lot better now. You know what I'm saying? It's just ours was such a dramatic change, and we let a fan favorite go that I think a lot of pressure was on right away with the expectations. And I think what people are frustrated, I think Bucks Nation is happy with the wins, but I think Bucks Nation is frustrated with how those wins are occurring and what's transpiring before in the process of getting those wins, being down 26, being down 20. They're used to they want to see some of that old Bucks where we just like how we blew out the Raptors. They want to see more of that, and I do as well because we have the talent to be blowing out teams. Is we're doing things to our detriment. At first, remember, it was the rebound that was a problem. Then it's the turnovers. It's always something that's missing that's causing a problem, and it's just like I'm just waiting for us to really put it together over a few game stretch, not a onesie twosie game. Because we have a 5 game stretch of playing inspired basketball all 4 quarters. What's the
yeah, but
holdup?
the only silver lining is they've been finding a will to win.
Correct.
And they've been, I think, outside of Boston, I think most of the over 500 teams they've beaten. I think it's probably just part of it is motivation to get into these. Like I think Ant was right when I was joining. Ant was saying like they're getting ready for Tuesday. It's been holidays coming. That's been going on. It's a lot going on, and I think these dudes are human at the end of the
Right.
day.
No,
But
agreed. But it's just like I just would like to see like consistent enthusiasm and not waiting until all hell breaks loose to kind of
that's
get things under
coaching.
control. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's
my
that's
problem.
coaching. That's coaching. You got
But he's a
if
young coach though. I mean, not young
it,
coach, but first time coach. It's gonna take time, and I
but
know that. And we're not
you know who you have
saying
to
we want
blame?
to fire. I don't want to fire Adrian Griffin or nothing like that. I just say I want to see constant improvement from this team because this isn't
You,
a team to be experimenting with. We are a
but
team with
why
championship
isn't
aspirations.
let me just say, why isn't anyone pointing the finger? I know it's been at Griffin a lot, but Giannis the leader of that squad. No one's ever said, Giannis, you the leader. Why is everything so discombobulated? He need to step up too as being that dude on this squad. This is his team. If we being
But I think
totally
he's a guy that kind of leads by example, where he shows it on the court versus being a vocal. I think he's that guy, and he's showing it. I mean, he dropped multiple 40-point games. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Then dropped a 50 ball, averaging 30 a game. I can't
you
put this
don't
on Giannis. I got to put this as a
you don't
team
think being
issue.
local you don't think being a vocal leader is important when you that dude?
But we won a championship with them being with the same demeanor
But you
already.
gotta have a vocal leader. You need one in the squad. Dame isn't it?
No, Dame is not a vocal leader. But I
So
still think they can win even with that issue. What you think, Amtrak?
No, I actually think Dame is. If you watch him, some of the cross matchups that happen on a defensive rebound, if he gets the ball, he sees it right away. Because I know that sometimes a small will end up on Brook, and he'll see it right away, and then he'll try to get Brook the ball, or he'll get him in an action or something like that. And then even today, I think they got a rebound, and Turbo got the ball. And then he looked like he was gonna pass it to Dame on the break, but Dame like pointed at Bobby because Bobby had a guard on him, and then it led to like a quick post up. So like I see Dame doing some of the like prototype point guard stuff. But he can't do that if Giannis has the ball bringing it up, because Giannis is just gonna go and he's gonna attack the rim, which we all love him for that. But like sometimes you need to try and get a easy basket, which is typical like big on small or something like that, instead of trying to run everybody over and get to the rim.
No, I agree with you. Hey, Mr. Smith, I see you in the green room. Give me a second, and I'll tap you in here in a minute. So, and then the other, I saw this in here. So, AB had a question. Said Levine makes the most sense since they already made it public they were looking to trade him. The Bulls are ready to start over. What we've been talking about that for a while. I just want y'all opinion. And Mr. Smith, when I tap you in your opinion, what do you guys think? I'm not saying it would happen, but hypothetically, would you trade Middleton for Zach LaVine?
I mean, I would due to injury, but I still think the bigger problem is I think Middleton contract is bottom heavy. And if Chicago is trying to free up money and rebuild, why would you?
Because he's still cheaper. He's still cheaper than Zach LaVine.
Yeah, but you can always get rid of. You can still already trade him to another player that's not making like $40 million on the back end contract.
I don't know. I don't know if I would try and get LaVine, because on paper, like he looks straight. Like even DeRozan would be straight right there. But all of the two guards that we've ever had, unless they've been a spot up shooter, they've all struggled.
Okay. Yeah, and LaVine is a bit inconsistent.
I seen people in the chat talking about Grayson for the Suns. Like I'm watching the Suns now, and Grayson be snapping. But it's because they run more motion and everybody like can get the ball and shoot it. But with the Bucks as the shooting guard, you're not gonna get it. They're not gonna run nothing for you. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be more of a spot up, which is why I think people hate on Beasley, but dude is actually playing pretty good.
What up, Patricia P?
Oh, Matt, I agree with you 100%, Matt. Did you look at Matt's comment? Read that one, Am.
What, I trade Pat for a $5 discount at my local grocery store?
Yep.
What?
Maybe a pack of Swishers. Remember, maybe a pack of Swisher Sweets too, Matt, or something like that. You know.
Oh, hilarious!
I like that comment. Salute to Matt.
That's hilarious. Hold on 1 second. The truth said everybody keeps questioning why Bochat and Ajax not getting minutes. They might be what the team's asking for, and Milwaukee preventing them from injuries. I don't
understand.
Yeah, I don't know the truth. Why they young dudes? Why they be preventing them from injury? I don't know about that one. That's an interesting one.
A little reach.
But I mean, look at DiVincenzo for the Knicks. Dude be hitting 2 now.
Right.
So it's like it must be something going on with the Bucks.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, Amtrak, can you tap back in a minute? I want to tap in Mr. Smith and then bring you back in.
All right, cool.
Okay, yeah, tap back in a minute. Hold on, before we get out, if you need any beats, any type of music, please holler at Amtrak. He is on YouTube. And my man is fire. Amtrak, tell him what you specialize in. If it's, you know what I'm saying, what type of beats you all do, just so the people know.
I do mainly hip hop, jazz, hip hop. And then I do a little bit of house too, like deep house, that kind of stuff. So, like if you're looking for that, I can get it to you. Otherwise, like I can do all genres, but those are my main 3.
Okay. If you need anything, hey, shout out to my man. Follow him on YouTube. It's Amtrak, AMTRAKZ. Along with my boy Mike O. Well, let's talk about it with Mike O on YouTube as well. Comment and subscribe.
Matter of fact, follow. Me and Am go live pretty much on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on if the Bucks are playing. Y'all should tap in. We talk about all sports.
Right.
I'll put the link in the comments. Y'all subscribe. Very entertaining. Very entertaining.
All right, Amtrak. So I'll tap back in a minute, Mr. Smith. I'm about to pull you in. All right, bro. I'll let you in a minute. My boy tapped in finally. Shout out to Air Tracks for tapping in finally. Let me tap you in, Mr. Smith. There you go. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All
Finish what you were
right.
I just
saying,
wanted
Mr.
to say
Smith.
real quick.
Yeah, go
I'd be
ahead.
hearing about you, Mr. Smith.
Definitely salute
I'd be
to
hearing about you,
Anthrax,
Mr.
man. I'm
Smith.
old school New York, right? So like rap beats with the jazz into it, that's right up my alley,
All
bro.
right.
Love the work.
Hey,
Salute,
he
salute.
cold,
You
bro.
love
He
his beat.
cold, bro. I'm telling you.
You will love his
You
beat.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Old school New York. And salute to Mike O who delivered that last comedy line that didn't crack a smile, nothing. That's comic timing. That's comic timing. Straight face, Pat, get out of here. Straight. I'll trade you for a lotto card right now. Scratched off lotto card. Straight face.
But we gotta be happy with this team still pulling off wins, y'all. It's like somebody said, it's miraculous how bad we've played in certain points of a game. I mean, we were down by 26 and came back to win.
Yeah,
Regardless of what the team is trash, that is a difficult feat to come back from 26 points.
no doubt.
That's
No doubt.
wild.
But I think right now for me, I can only speak for me when I'm disappointed when I see this kind of stuff. It's balancing reality with expectations, right? And so the more I see some of this kind of stuff, the more my image of what I thought we were going to be at the beginning of the season gets more and more diminished because I was of the mind that we were just going to roll over people.
Yep,
That's my
same.
fault.
Yep.
That's my fault, right? You know, a more common
I
sense
want to
approach would
piggyback
have
off of
been
that,
like,
Mr. I think that's a problem with most of Bucks Nation. When we saw this getting put together, I think that everyone thought we were
yeah,
just going to steamroll people. It wasn't going to be close games. Like, how could they compete with us? Look at this talent. And then to see
yeah.
people competing and us losing some games it's shocking Bucks Nation, I think. I think there's a bit of
And
shock to Bucks Nation.
And it shouldn't be, particularly to like the older Bucks fans like myself. Like it shouldn't be because we've been watching basketball long enough to know that things take time, right? In every sport, things take time. You know what I mean? You look at, not to bring the Packers into it or whatever, but how long did it take for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to get on the same page, right? Things take time. You know what I mean? Eventually, it was peanut butter and jelly. We certainly hope one day that this Bucks team becomes peanut butter and jelly. And we are starting to see it piecemeal if you know what to look for, right? And so the pick and roll between Giannis and Dame is getting better. The pick and roll that really works on the team right now is between Dame and Brook. And I would say it's because Brook knows how to set and keep a hard screen. He's got a big wide body. He doesn't roll out prematurely. He gets the ball. Dame is able to get around him and go, right? But, I mean, we could talk offense all day, but it's the defense that is really, really bothering me right now. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think that I think it's 50-50. I think it's a poor scheme, and I think it's a poor execution. I think it's a mediocre scheme, but it looks poor because of how it's being executed in the very beginning.
And I don't think we
Right?
have
I don't
the
think it's a
players
great
and the
scheme.
length that is needed to execute what he wants to do. He's trying to run it I think he's really trying to run a defense that he runs with Toronto, but Toronto has long athletic players at all positions. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think he's still
younger
trying
players.
to, and then he's still going away from the 2-3 zone that we have seen be effective. It's like that's still getting thrown out the window. I don't know if it's pride or what. Why don't you just want to play the 2-3 zone and build off of that? That's what slowed down teams. That's what they start doing when they down 20. Why don't you just come out the gate with that? I just don't understand.
I wish I knew that. I wish that I was a reporter. I wish I would have had my act together and I was a reporter because I'd be asking these questions. I would be asking, why is it's so night and day. We can, if Chris or Giannis is out of the lineup, we see Ajax in the starting lineup. Like, so he's the first option when one of those guys are out of the lineup. But if those guys are in the lineup, we might see Ajax. I don't get that. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem
to piggyback off of that. Now, peep this now, Mike. Oh, Mr. Smith. Ajax will start, but then get less minutes than Pat Connaughton. Do you get what I'm saying?
What faith in Pat Connaughton? I really don't understand that. I mean, well, because seriously, he doesn't produce defensively. He doesn't even make his spot up jumpers like he used to 2 years ago. It's just he's not the same player that he was. I don't even understand. It makes zero sense to me.
I think they would probably argue, and I would argue against this, but I think they would probably argue that he's the better intangibles guy, right? And so, like the little things, movement off the ball, the things don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet. You know, the hockey assists, whatever. I think they
Yeah.
would say that they probably trust Pat to do more of that. But I think that is where Ajax super shines. I think he's brilliant at it, almost to a fault. Like there were times when he was under the rim when I'm like, Ajax, just go up and pull the rim down. I know that you can't shoot, but we do know that you can jump and dunk the ball. You know, but he'll pass to the point where while I'm saying that, either his direct assist or his hockey assist will find an open shooter and they'll make shots. So I think Amtrak's point about how shooters are going to other areas and are shining because of the ball movement is brilliant. Because I've been, and I'm not saying it's brilliant because I've been saying it. I think it's brilliant because I just think that's nail on the head. I think shooters, particularly people like Malik Beasley, need to get the ball and need to be involved in a more ball movement oriented offense. When it's just one pass shoot, you're a spot up shooter that takes you out of rhythm. And I don't think that can be stated enough. You know what I
Because I
mean?
feel like that's why Beasley looks a little better when Dame is engaging in the offense or kind of initiating. It seems like there's a little bit more ball movement, and then he gets his touches a little earlier for Beasley.
So maybe Beasley needs to be in lineups where Giannis is not on the court.
Well, were you
Maybe they need
noticing
to
though?
start thinking.
Well, Mr. Smith, were you noticing? I know me and Am saw a couple games ago where Griffin at one point was putting Giannis and Dame in at separate times in the ball game. And
I've noticed that since the beginning. I think
yeah, and I
that's in
don't know if
recognition of the fact that their pick and roll is not working yet. And so
yeah,
you know, they'll say, all right, well, or at least it wasn't. Like we
Right.
only, in my opinion, have seen 2, maybe 3 games where it's getting better.
Better, yeah.
You know what I mean? And prior to that, Giannis would have to be pulled off the court to say, we need you to. I'm guessing this is what happened. I don't know this
You're
for
right,
sure. I'm not
Patricia.
in these huddles. I just, you know, direct cause and effect. Giannis would get pulled off. There would be a discussion. And then when he would come back on the court, he seemed to be concentrating on being less ball intensive. So I don't know if that was the conversation, if somebody had to tell him, or whether he just knew to do it on his own. But, you know, famously that timeout the other day where Giannis and the coach are arguing, and when he came back in the game, it was less usage. I don't know if that's the conversation that the coach is having. I know that's what I would say to the coach, right? You know what I mean? But it's not Giannis's fault per se necessarily. I don't want to promote that or whatever the case may be. I think Dame has to figure out a way to start cooking as soon as you get in the game.
Right.
You
right.
know, as soon as you get in the game, that's your issue. I think everyone needs to come out the gate ready to play basketball and stop getting punched in the mouth first. It is so irritating to
It
watch.
is. Why do
Every
we gotta
game.
be counter boxes? Like we all counter. That's all we do. We counter your shot.
every game.
Every game we gotta counter. Why can't we just come out and walk you down? You know what I'm saying? I want us to come out the game and just walk somebody down.
Be aggressive. You see what happens.
Duisdorf, I see you in the green room.
got
Give me a
aggressive,
second,
all
bro.
of a sudden, Portland couldn't make a shot.
Yeah.
We got aggressive, and all of a sudden, Portland couldn't make a shot. That's not coincidence. That's because that's a young team that had people running right at them, and all of a sudden, our shot starts going down. You think it's a coincidence that Bobby Portis looked like trash, but all of a sudden, he's more actively engaged in the game than he hits 2 big threes that we need? That's not coincidence. Basketball is momentum and confidence. So go out and play confidently from the beginning of the game. Stop looking for players that you like. Your assignment, you should know what your assignment is if you're playing man to man before they even throw the ball up. Like, where's my guy? There he is, right there. I'm in your jersey for the rest of the game. I'm on you, like white on rice. And it seemed like another team will set 2 screens, and our guys are hopelessly lost. We can't get around screens. We don't know how to run around and move around. That's my issue. My issue is not on offense. My issue is on defense. Because offense, I think we'll figure it out. I think we started to figure it out.
So let
I
me
really
ask you,
think
Mr.
putting
Smith.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question.
I need to
So
plug in real
you
quick.
you you said that before the season started, you had better dreams and aspirations of the Bucks, right?
Right.
So where do you see them at the half? Where, like, what record do you see them at going into the half? All-Star break.
Going into the All-Star break. Okay, so that's a good question. I think honestly,
Oh,
I'd
on the
be
phone.
interested to see if they make a move. I'd be interested to see if they make a move come December 15th, right? And it depends on what moves are made prior to that. So the trade deadline, I think, is going to play a factor into that. I don't know where we're going to finish by the All-Star break. I think right now, the way that it's trending, we'll finish either second or third by the end of the season. I'm hoping that we're better than that, but I need to see more consistent defense. I definitely need to see whether by trade or whether someone just gets a foot put in their backside, better point of attack. Because whatever it is that Coach Griffin is trying to do, it starts there. If we don't figure that out, then I think we finish third. Because I think we're going to see a lot of games like this where we have to outscore teams and hope that teams miss shots. Yes, we came up with stops, but a big part of that comeback was Portland all of a sudden no longer making
Yeah,
shots. So, I
they were
mean,
shooting
let's, you know
50%
what I
in the
mean?
first half, and then it tumbled in the second half. So I think that makes a difference. Hold on, let me just get to this comment here. Frühlings effect. Hey, Frühlings effect. Bist du Deutsch? Kannst du Deutsch sprechen? Said, when is Dame gonna be Dame? I think we all waiting on that. I think we all waiting on that. I think that
I
is a
Now,
think it's
big question.
coming.
I think it's
I need to
coming though.
cut
Yeah.
in on this. You said that perfectly clear, that name.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to add that in.
Oh
That
yeah, I
German,
know my
you
German,
said that
fam. I know
fluent.
my
You
German
said
now.
that very fluent. Just need to point that out.
I know my German now, straight
Shout
up.
out to my bilingual brother.
Oh man,
I think Dame
absolutely.
is coming.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
Dame
Dame, that
coming.
is one of the things that I am optimistic about. Now, I don't know what's up with like these wide open uh, layups that I'm seeing missed. Like Dame went up for a
Uh,
dunk the
yeah,
other
that
day
looked
and took off.
crazy. That looked
I
That
think
was
crazy.
a
he got
strike
caught
move.
up. I
Remember
think
that?
he wanted to dunk, but realized he couldn't. I don't think he was
Right,
strong enough.
right. He didn't have that gear. That looked
Yeah, it looked like
crazy.
he didn't have it.
Hey,
But again,
Dwinsdorf, I'm gonna
He done
tap
got
you
the
in
business
in a
back in the
minute or
game.
two here, bro. I see you in the
Yeah, yeah,
green room.
but
I'm
I mean,
tap you
like that
in.
was that Grant Hill. That was that old school Grant Hill commercial. Remember that way back when the dude went to go to do the 360 dunk and went off the lip of the rim, and he looked
Right.
like that. But it wasn't just him. Giannis, is going up for every so often. Like he'll miss, like the ball will slip out of his hands, and he misses it. Bobby went up for a dunk, missed it. These are things that I'm not expecting to happen on a regular
But
basis,
see, and
right?
that's
These are
coaching.
like those flukes.
I think that's practice. That's all stuff you should be doing in practice. Basic fundamentals you should be doing in practice that isn't being done. And I just wonder sometimes if he's too light. Is he more of a player's coach or is he a coach's coach? And I think he's
Mm.
probably more of a player's coach, is what it sounds like. I just
I
hope he's
would love
not
to
too
watch
buddy
it.
buddy. Yeah, I just don't want him to be too buddy buddy with everybody, and then they start playing funny. That's just really what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
I just thought I think it's also like a very difficult. I think I need to acknowledge that. I think we all need to acknowledge that as well. That it's an untenable position to be in as well. Very difficult, not untenable. Very difficult position to be in
Two
when.
superstars.
We'll say again.
I'm sorry, I was like two. You got two superstars. You're coaching two superstars.
You got two superstars, and then there's the realization that the vets who have more cachet on the team are probably not your best choice. So how do I go
Mm.
about this
That's an
diplomatically,
excellent point.
right? To find a way to get guys on the court. I honestly thought the first time I heard this theory was on this chat a couple of chats ago, where someone said, you know what, when it's the early part of the season, we're going to put these vets out there and we're going to let them bleed. and we're gonna let them fail, so that when I go to put the guys in, can't nobody say anything. You know what I mean? I won't lose the room, because it's not about upper management.
Okay.
It's about like the room itself. When I go to say something, the message in every basketball room that I've been in, the message doesn't just go from the coach to the players. The message goes from the coach through the vets down to the lower ranking guys, right? You know what I mean? Your
And you
captains,
said
your
that on Let's
established
Talk About
guys.
It too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you're a younger guy, there's no way, there's no basketball sense that you can make for Ajax not being in the game more often, other than I'm giving my vets every chance that they can have to make an
Before
argument for themselves before I have to take them off for the
maybe
betterment
that,
of the
maybe
team.
that, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. It has to be.
Because I mean,
There's
even
a
his court vision is better than. I mean, this like the little thing. His court vision is better than Pat.
right.
He's faster than Pat. His arms are longer than Pat. He's actually, with a poor shot, I expect that he's almost going to make as much shots as Pat. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He's better at everything than Pat right now. At everything.
it
At
wouldn't take much to
everything.
shoot more than
Hey,
And
Pat.
let's get the likes up, chat. We at 72. Let's try to get to 80 likes, chat. Come on, y'all. Y'all hear this good game being spitting here about these Bucks. Let's show some appreciation for the chat and the podcast, y'all. Let's get them likes up. Shout out to Bucks Nation. Go ahead, though, Mr. Smith. And I'm gonna tap you in here.
I
1 second, Dwizdor. I'm gonna tap you in.
I,
Go
And I was just saying with Marjan, I think Marjan's game is definitely up and down, no doubt. But I
Mm-hmm.
think his ceiling is higher, and I think Marjan is a
Exactly.
confidence player.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in to let him build his confidence, and I think his ceiling is higher than the other guys have. So now Coach Griffin with no cachet now, right? Because he's brand new, so his voice is brand new in this room, is having to navigate through that. I mean, let's be honest. Like I've never seen Giannis flat out say, "No, I'm not coming out of the game," and sit there and get into a screaming match on live TV with the coach. A lot of that is new coach stuff. I'm not
Right.
saying that he wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying he didn't do it, at least that I can remember, with any of the guys that he previously coached. So Coach Griffin, with all of this newness, is having to navigate this situation,
And being a
and it
first
can't
time
be
head
easy.
coach. It's a lot on. We got to be honest. It's a lot on Griffin. First time head coach. You coaching a team that's ready to win a championship. Just won a championship within the last few years. You just
Yeah.
got another player that's super explosive. How do you manage the egos? How do you manage the minutes? You got young guys that are some real dogs out there. You know you need to have them in the game, but you got vets on here that have earned their playing time because of different situations as well. So it's a lot on Griff's plate, and we do need to be cognizant of that. That there is a lot on
Yeah.
his plate that he needs,
Oh,
that he has to
and he
navigate as a
knows,
first time head coach.
and he knows that he's gonna be the fallout. He's the
Oh
first
yeah.
one to go if
Oh,
something happens. So the
first
pressure
thing
is on that
smoking.
man. Yeah, the pressure is on him. So I totally agree.
And it's
Yeah.
easy for a new guy to lose a room, right? It's easy for
Yeah.
players
He
to be
hasn't
like,
built
you
up
know
any
what,
rapport yet.
you this is your first time coaching. What are you talking about right now, bro? And just tune you
right.
right out. And I
Right. Right.
But
personally think
Right.
that kind of stuff
that's what I
shouldn't
said earlier.
happen in the NBA, but we saw it. We saw it the other day. Like I said, Jordan Poole right now is the most memed person in the
Right.
NBA right now for how he just completely like disregarded the timeout. Now, right now, he's being looked at as the bad guy for that, right? They're not blaming the coach for that. But there are a lot of times when I've heard coaches will draw up plays, then the actual play will happen, and then the star players are like, "I'm just do what I want right now in this
Right.
moment." You know what I mean? And so right now, a new coach is having to find his voice with a room that doesn't, at least from the outside point of view, seem like it has the problem with egos. Thank God we don't have any James Hardens on this
Right.
team, because oh my gosh,
Oh
like with
Lord.
a new coach and having to deal with that drama. But so thank God we don't have to deal with that, but it still can't be easy. You know what I mean? I think he could do himself a favor though and throw this garbage defense that he wants to play from the beginning of the game in the trash where it belongs. Your base defense should be your 2-3.
2-3 zone.
I don't
That's
get
it.
that.
That's it. But
There's
I
no
gotta tap in.
defending.
I gotta tap in Dwisdorf here. He been waiting for a minute, y'all. Let me tap
Salute,
him in.
salute.
I'm gonna holler back at both of y'all. Let me tap him in. Michael R. Smith, Mr. Smith, call back in a few minutes. Let me just tap in Dwisdorf
Salute.
and I'll holler at y'all in a minute. All right, y'all.
Appreciate you
All right,
both.
all right, y'all. You too, bro. All right, let me pull you in, Dwisdorf. Hold on. Go ahead, bro. There you go.
No worries. You can't do 4 boxes? You can't edit that yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it though. That's next. That's next. We're
Nice.
gonna
I
do
mean,
4.
it looks smooth already. But no, just to add really about Coach Griff, I honestly think he's a coach's coach. You know,
Okay.
whenever there's a challenge being called, he's looking at his coaches first. And I think to compare him to Coach Bud for sure was a player's coach. That's why he played George Hill and Pat Connaughton so much. And, you know, and I think that's why, you know, Coach Griff has to play Pat a little bit more because of just the vet and, you know, trying to transition and prove a point. And as far as us going into the All-Star break, you know, there's a few factors in this. One, for us to be first, our bench has to play at least 40 points and contribute. Or Dame completely turns into Dame and gets 50 points a game. Or
Right.
we click on all cylinders. But right now, I see us being actually like 4th or 5th just because we're playing so poorly. You know, Giannis can only do so much before he exhausts his tank.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the thing. We shouldn't be having to burn ourselves out, bro, against these mediocre teams. We got to figure out whatever it is in that secret sauce that they got going on at halftime. They need to just instill that in the first half. We got to figure out what is the disconnect where we come out flat most games. I say half of the games we've played, we've come out flat, in my opinion. We've come out flat.
Yeah, and I think that's just, you know, us having the scheme or script that we have to play by. You know, I see so many clips of Coach Bud saying, you know, play random, and I think that's what works best, but, you know, having some kind of, you know, pick and roll here and there. But
Right.
everyone expects us to do that, so it's not going to be as easy as we think. You know, this perfect Kobe Shaq duo. You
Right.
know, but right now, what duo can you name that's doing 30 points each?
Right,
No one.
right. That's the positive. And Dame is not even Dame yet, and he's still dropping almost 30 a game. Those are the very, very positive things that I'm seeing. Like we're still able to give him, and we didn't have Chris Middleton again, and it didn't really matter that much. You know what I'm saying? Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't expect him playing too much that much anymore. You know, we'd already discussed his last game. He's not an Alfred. You know, right now we got Pat Connaughton. He's Penguin. You know, I don't even know what Chris Middleton is right now. I don't know what he is. He's definitely Officer. He's definitely Officer Gordon because I don't know what role Chris Middleton is.
That's hilarious. Right. Oh man.
You know, last year before this season, we were saying that, you know, he was bringing all these gadgets, you know, being that true Alfred
Right.
kind of Robin
Right.
scheme. But this year, we don't have a Robin. We have Batman and, you know, the futuristic Batman,
Man,
or, you know,
right. Whatever you want to say, right. But we got two tier 1 players. And
absolutely.
And we just got to figure it out. But I think I hear my kid crying up there, y'all. I'm going to have to get off of here in a few minutes. But I appreciate you tapping in. Dwisdor, you finally tapped in, bro. We talked all week, bro. And you finally
Absolutely.
tapped in, bro.
Look what time it is.
All right. You're right. So appreciate you tapping in. That was dope, you tapping. We talked all week. Amtrax, thank you for tapping in for the first time. Also, somebody else, we talked all week. So it's dope to have y'all actually join the live and contribute and let us, you know,
Hey, peace and love.
show your
Peace and
basketball
love.
acumen. Yeah, absolutely. All right, bro. Appreciate you tapping in. Talk to you. Well, you know, I'll talk to you anyway,
Peace.
Dwiz. You know, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Absolutely, all the time.
All right, bro, go. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to hurry this up, y'all. Let me get through a couple more comments, and then I am going to have to Figure out what's going on with my kid. All right. Pam said Dame has to start playing 4 quarters. It will make this team so much better. We gotta say that too, though, Pam. You're right. We gotta start looking at Dame. All of a sudden, is Superman in the fourth quarter, and in the first 3, he's nothing. So I definitely agree with that. But I think all in all, we should be happy with where the Bucks are. Seeing that all the trials and tribulations that we're going through and still able to win games and be at the top of the heap, I think that is impressive. I look forward to this Miami Heat game. I expect us to play well against the Miami Heat since we know that that's one of our main nemesis, and I think we will play well. And I do also want to see moving forward, Giannis needs to be in the top 5 for MVP votes. What else does this man need to do? What else does Giannis need to do to be in the MVP votes? Like high. He should be in the top 5. I want to say top 3, but some people might wild on me. He should be in the top 5 of MVP votes right now. Period. Giannis is playing outstanding basketball. Outstanding. Outstanding basketball. I see you got a plan, Stan. John Hassel was good. Pretty much Portis and Middleton for DeRozan would be the jam. I would do that. I actually would do that. But they had to give us something back for Porters too. Like they'd have to give us Caruso or something, but I would do that. Appreciate y'all giving me the 80 likes, y'all. Appreciate it. But I got to get up out of here, y'all. Let me just get see if there's anybody else that has not commented yet. Give me a second, y'all. Pam, I appreciate you always bringing the stats. Pam was good. Conrad was good. Let me see if I missed any. Okay, Conrad said, I think Griffin needs to understand each player's attributes and what makes them go. Giannis is a ball dominant and Dame needs his touches. Lopez needs to be around the basket. Chris off the bench. Beautifully said, Conrad. All that is 100. Well, hey, I'm gonna put that back up here for 1 second. I'm gonna put that in the chat here, y'all. One more time. That's exactly what I've been saying. Shout out to you, Conrad. That's everything wrapped up in a nutshell. That's exactly what we need to do. But y'all, I gotta get up out of here. I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic, Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news live edition, where we just talked about the Bucks getting another win at Fiserv Forum. Against the Portland Trailblazers. Dame's first time against his old team. We were down 26 and came back and won. And we did it in the fourth. Shout out to the Bucks. If you haven't already, can you please hit the like button on the way out? If we could get the 90 likes, that would be dope. Much appreciated, y'all. Always a pleasure talking to y'all. And I appreciate y'all sticking around this long. We almost did 2-hour live here, and it went just like that. And shout out to everybody to join the chat. Shout out to all the comments, everybody being respectful and saying what needs to be said. And that's what this podcast is here for. We're not here for the strawberries and cream. We keep it real here and tell the truth. It's not all peaches and cream. It's not all about the points. It's about the nuances of the game. And that's what we discuss on this chat. And that's what makes this podcast the best Bucks podcast on YouTube. And also why this is the most knowledgeable chat on YouTube, period. Do y'all not see what these people are saying when they join these lives or in these comment sections? These are people you can tell that are paying attention to the details. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate all y'all in the chat. Please comment, like, subscribe, share the content. Gone. If y'all could get 3 more likes in there, that'd be dope. If not, I'll see y'all on the next live. Peace and love, as my boy Gibson Nicholas would say. Appreciate y'all watching, y'all.